Recording.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next episode of Powercast. This is finally back, Power Ghost Season 4. We will be breaking down the trailer. We will be having a discussion of what we think Season 4 means and our hopes and our dreams. And we're really happy that it has returned. I am your host, Dana Abercrombie, and I am joined by Mr. Richard Bailey Jr. How are you, Richard?
Doing good, Dana. What's up, listeners and viewers? Before you guys ask, our very good friend Gary Swaby not really able to join us for this discussion, but obviously when we start recording the show, all three of us will be here, business as usual. But yeah, definitely wanted to react to this trailer. I know there have been quite a bit of people that have already been reacting to this trailer, so apologize for the delay because, yeah, we've been a little busy with a lot of other things going on over here, but we definitely had to talk about this trailer. So sit back and enjoy the conversation, and hopefully you leave your thoughts as well and let us know what you think about the trailer too.
Absolutely. So, as we know, this trailer, long awaited. First of all, the season is going to be broken into two parts. So, this is a trailer for part one, not the entire season. This is, just what's going to be popping off during the first part. So, we begin, as we always seem to begin when it comes to something that's at the finale of things, in a church, where the church represents forgiveness, either for our past or what we're about to do. And there's a lot of things that people are about to do when it comes to this season. So to me, it seems the overarching thing. We do know that it is Tariq stepping into what could be becoming Ghost. He is now officially Ghost, but we don't know yet. And for me, the biggest part seemed to be choice versus destiny. And he alludes back to a lot of things of, I had everything set up for me. I didn't have to do this. Is this him choosing to do this, or is this the destiny that you can argue when he was that spoiled little kid who we kept saying, just beat him in the head, beat him in the head. All he needs is that belt. Is this something that he kind of put forth and this is now his destiny? His choice is now becoming his destiny. We don't know. But as I stated, it starts off with a church. And we have a monologue by Mr. Michael Ealy, who does not age. And he states, Tariq St. Patrick, son of James St. Patrick, no code, no loyalty. You smell just like him. I know the truth. I know who you are, and I'm going to put you where you belong. So obviously, this establishes already that there is history between Mr. Michael Ealy's character, I'm sorry, my notes are like noting. My notes are he's Detective Don Carter. He is a part of the NYPD. He is a detective who has vowed to make the streets safer by leading an elite NYPD drug task force that's to take down violence. So we already know that they deal with violence as well. So it's going to get violent. Now, he was on track to becoming a police commissioner until his wife was killed in a crossfire between rival gangs. And it seems to me, within just this sentence alone, of him knowing who James is, Ghost, either his wife's killing was during James' run, Ghost's run. And, look at you. You're now becoming just like your father. And I'm here to take you down. I'm going to end the St. Patrick's, every single one of you, and your little dog, too. So I want to know from you, Richard, what are your thoughts on just that beginning?
First and foremost, let me just say this. It was an awesome trailer. To me, this is how you get people excited for an upcoming season. And again, because this is the final season, because I know when we heard the news about it being the final season, we did not like to hear that news when we recorded our last discussion. So obviously, when I saw this, I was very excited. Now, to answer your question directly, I thought this was an excellent setup. because yes, like you had the monologue by Don Carter. Even though I will say, pause, when he said that you smell just like him, how the hell does he know that Tariq will smell exactly like Joe? So I thought that was a little, okay, that's a little suspect all right there. Okay. But other than that, yeah, I understand. He knows that James, obviously maybe he does have some history with James St. Patrick. Will probably allude to that in the show. Just the fact that he doesn't like, because of what happened to his wife, he doesn't like anybody that's doing anything illegally with drugs. So I fully understand that. But what I like about how they set that monologue up is they had all the separate shots. Of course, you had Tariq, you had Braden, but then you had Effie, Noma, you had all the other characters. And again, it highlights the fact that, to me, it felt like anybody can go this season. Now, obviously, I don't think that Michael Rainey Jr. is going to get killed off the show. But I'm just saying, all those other characters I saw, it felt like every character is in danger this season, and they can go. So that was a perfect setup. I also like the music that they chose to really amp up the intensity. So, I mean, I was completely sold on that, because when I heard that Michael Ealy was joining the show, and they said that he's a very determined, ruthless detective, I was wondering if he was going to be going after Tariq or if he was going to be going after Monet. So obviously, because Tariq has the deck stacked against him now, you have the Tejadas against him, you have Noma against him, and of course, now you're going to have to worry about this guy as well, Detective Carter. So really, Tariq has a lot of things not working for him in his favor. So we want to see where everything goes. But yeah, I was very excited when I saw that opening of the trailer. And to me, if you're making a show and this is your final season, that is exactly what you need to have as far as the feeling coming from everybody after watching that trailer. So they did an excellent job on that.
I completely agree with you as well. And also with this image, you can see he's smelling him. See, he smells. Sniff, sniff. Sniff all that good St. Patrickness up. So then we move on with the other piece of dialogue, as we were stating before, where, Tariq realizes that he's in over his head this season. This is not like season one. It's not baby steps. There's no one here to really hold his hand. We'll get back to what happened at the finale, but the finale, essentially, he and Braden, they're on their own. And it is Braden following him. So he has to be the master and commander and the leader of this situation ship right now. So he is basically the head one in charge, but he realizes that he is probably in over his head, and he states, I need help. And we never really saw him say that before in the previous seasons. And he says, I need help. Noma, Effie, and the Tejadas are all working against me. It cuts to Noma saying, this kid will be my undoing. I want him and everything he loves killed. And that's when we see all the flashes of, we have his mom is still back in this. We are going to assume she's in the season she should be. Give her that big final send off, whether she lives or she dies. Oh, wouldn't that be something? See, I have theories as to what I want to happen. We'll get back to that at the end. But, every single person who is associated with him, she wants murdered, which we know that is immediately, obviously, Tariq himself, Braden, Method Man's character, his name legit, went out of my head.
Davis McLean.
Davis McLean. He's associated with him. Grandma, the daughter's still alive. We could possibly see some kind of Tommy-ish situation. The thing is, we don't know who he called, but we do know, going back previously, that he had a conversation with Tommy and they squashed the beef. You and I, at least me, I seriously hated that. But I guess, as you get older, you start squashing things. You start talking back again. Me, I'm just not going to do that. But maybe that was for a reason. And that reason is to get to season 4. That phone call of, I need help. What are your theories?
Okay, that's a very good question. Well, first and foremost, I don't think that Tommy is going to be a part of this season. Obviously, Tommy has a lot of things that he has to deal with in Chicago. I know that you and Gary absolutely cannot wait for the return of force season 3, which I'm assuming is probably going to be later this year, because I mean they are filming right now in Chicago. But to answer the question, I don't think that the person he was talking to was Tommy. It very well could have been Tasha, because Tasha did get involved. We saw what happened at the end of last season, where she is actually the one that decided to pull the trigger on Monet, and obviously that I think is going to come back and hurt her later. Now we'll discuss later on what that means, but I do want to say this: one thing I did notice in the trailer that I did find funny. When we did see that shot of Tasha, she had on a Shop Depot, I guess like one of those little jackets. So I guess she's working now at a grocery store or something to that extent. I thought to myself, well, that's interesting. That's actually kind of funny, because I guess they were able to get her some type of job, because I know I made comments last season. I was like, what's going on with the security in this show? It's like you had her being able to pull that hit on Monet and then get away like that. I mean, so I want to see where they're going with that. But clearly, again, like I mentioned earlier, this season, it feels like, yes, Tariq is in a lot of trouble. Everyone close to him is in a lot of trouble. And I do feel as though you could definitely see some people get taken out. Now, one other comment that I do want to make, because there was a shot of this as well, as you were mentioning the monologues of what was being said. There was a shot of Kane knocking out Trice. Now, obviously, that is Brayden's brother. We know the history of those two characters. We know that Kane wants to get his hands on Trice. And if you go back to the finale of what happened, Brayden essentially took a shot at Kane when he came in there to try to rescue Tariq. So I'm pretty sure that obviously while Brayden and Tariq were able to get away at that moment, they know how to get to Brayden's family. So I kind of feel like something could very well happen to Trice. I know we made jokes about that character probably will get killed because he was up there snitching and all this other type of stuff. So I want to see what happens with that. But I did notice that scene. And yeah, it's just a lot of intensity in that trailer of certain stuff happening. So I want to see what happens. But to stay to what you said about Tariq, yeah, we do know that Tariq does have to evolve. One thing I love about this show is that they told us in the beginning of this show, obviously we already knew this is James' son, and they made it very clear to you in the beginning of this show. I remember when they showed when he went to college, on the name on the door made mention of him being, yes, this is James' son. But what they did is they took their time to evolve the character. Every single season, he becomes more and more like his father with certain actions that he does, especially last season when he had that conversation, when he had that little scene with Effie, where he drove her out, made it seem like he was going to kill her. In the way he was talking, this is exactly something that James, his father, would do. So I kind of feel like every season you see there's a piece of his father still in him. So obviously when we get to the final season and you see the full transformation of him in the suit and all this other stuff, that's what I kind of feel like. I'm looking forward to seeing that happen. Because Michael Rainey Jr. has come a long way from being on this show ever since he was a little kid. Now he is a grown man. So I'm looking forward to seeing that transformation. But yeah, for him to reach out and ask for help, there's a lot of curiosity as to who he was talking to. I think it's Tasha, but we'll have to wait and see how that pans out as far as when the show starts next month.
I completely agree. And also, this goes into the next kind of monologue that he said that is very important. When you go back to that kind of first season, remember he was forced to go there by his dad because he wouldn't get the money unless he graduated college. You were like, oh, just go for a day. You had to graduate college. And obviously that is something that cannot happen at this moment. The lessons that he had in school, he has to now apply to the real world and his grown up adult situation that he has gotten himself into. And this is when I really think that he, it is now, we'll talk about the choice versus destiny. He is now picking sides because the side was picked for him. Go to school. And he had to do that. Now he is choosing what to become. And this goes into his next monologue, which is this. He states, I had everything set up for me. Life, school. My family was away safe. I am not letting anyone take that away from me. I had to become the apex predator. My dad tried his hardest to keep me away from this. Now look how I turned out. I need to be on top. If you do this, this is what he's saying to Braden. They're teaming up. You can never go back. And he says, I got to use all of him, referring to Ghost, good parts of him, bad parts of him. They're going to get what's coming to them. I'm not going to rest until that happens. So that was a statement and a declaration of this is who I am. He has spent, we have to go back to the original Power, his entire life of being curious. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? You know, to his son, the ghost trying to keep him away from what he does. You're a rich kid. You live in a penthouse. You go to private school. You live your happy Black private life. We are privileged. He wanted to be, I'm in the street. Look at me. I'm a drug dealer. Bang, bang. And his father tried desperately to keep him away from that. And even forcing him to go to college, he would think, I would still be able to keep him away from that. He was unable to see what his father was doing to him or doing for him at that time because I wanted to be a drug dealer. Remember that whole thing with the oranges? How he set up his own daddy? Remember all the people who technically was killed because of Tariq's stupidity? We can also go back to Kanan and Jukebox. Remember how why Jukebox died? All of this is because of him, and I wanted to be this. But now as an adult, looking back at his life, he realized I had everything set up for me. That life that he once had, I don't think he feels he can go back to. He got himself in this deep doo-doo. Now he has to fight and become who he hates, which, remember, was his dad. So, Shakespeare, what do you feel about that part?
Well, I just think that, first and foremost, a perfect speech, perfect monologue throughout the entire trailer. But this one specifically, yeah, it's you know, this is all a callback to his final conversation with Ghost before he shot him. Ghost said, if you do this, there's no turning back, you know, and that obviously now he's going to feel the pressure because he's in a situation where he has so many enemies. And I know the description of the season mentioned that there were new alliances being formed. And, you know, Braden, the way the season ends is, you know, obviously Braden and Tariq are on the outside. They're not in, you know, they are trying to escape. They don't have any product to sell. So I'm very curious to see what their game plan is going to be going into this season. But to me, it's like, yeah, you are definitely seeing the evolution of this character really becoming his father, both the positives as well as the negatives. And the one thing I thought was very exciting is that, you know, even Tariq is using, because I mentioned, you know, this is one thing that Gary was talking with me before when we were talking about the trailer. Tariq is now using high-grade weapons. Like, these are some serious weapons. And this is the type of stuff, because I remember with Ghosts, you know, with Ghost and Tommy, when they had to take all people out, they were using some high-tier weapons. So, again, the transformation coming full circle. Tariq, the wardrobe that he has had as this show has continued, wearing the suits and stuff like that. And, of course, you see him with the same suit, similar to the same suit that James had. Exactly in Club Truth, just like that image right there. It's just like, yes, I like to see how this is going to go down. But I will say this, you know, for Tariq to want to go after multiple people, I do think there will be some casualties on both sides. Like, obviously, like I said earlier, the trailer gives you the impression that anybody can go. Everybody has their own issues going on. The Tejadas have issues going on. Noma has issues with her business as well. That's why I said it feels like anybody can go. But obviously, I don't think every character will go, because my assumption is that they're going to probably have other spinoffs with some of these characters, you know. But again, hard to tell because we don't know yet. But I'm just saying they're probably going to have some other spinoffs with some of the characters in this show, even though this is the end of this particular story with Tariq. Yeah, we'll probably see what happens with the other characters. But yeah, I mean, overall, though, like I said, I feel a lot of excitement for what I saw because I want to, and to me, it really is a testament to how brilliant Courtney Kemp is, because I recall when they made this show in the very beginning, Michael Rainey Jr. had, and he said this openly on a lot of podcasts, The Crew Has It, the show he has with Braden, he questioned who was going to want to watch a show about Tariq, because he was probably one of the most hated characters because he killed ghosts. So for them to turn things around in this instance, where now we are going to be rooting for Tariq going into the final season, that's brilliant writing. Okay, that's excellent writing right there. So, but I still want to see how they handle the final season, if they stick to the landing, if you will. But yeah, what I saw as far as that's concerned, I'm very curious to see where things go. But all I'm saying is that it is a war now, pretty much, for Tariq. So I want to definitely see who doesn't make it out of this alive, because a lot of characters, some people definitely are not going to make it out alive. So I just want to see how that story progresses.
And also, this struck out to me as Ghost in the club, and more of Ghost. So there's a lot of that imagery towards Ghost, and then kind of going off to what this season even says. The description, it says, basically, you have this wonderful photo, and it says, that basically with targets on all his back and all his angles, Therese must decide whether to embrace St. Patrick's name, for better or worse. And that's why he stated the good and the bad parts of him. Because at the end of the day, he loved his children. Maybe not his wife, but he loved his children. He always provided for his children and for his friends. And he made sure that they was, well, not all, because, Canaan, and that was just another situation. But the point is, yes.
Correction. He did love his children. He did love the love of his life, Angela, but he definitely didn't love Tasha. So there you go. That's what he meant to say.
He didn't love his Tasha at all. Remember that little head bump? That was so disrespectful. But basically, so it also says, everyone is on a hunt for revenge, and that's when we got the thing of Noma. She's on a revenge. Which my face, Mary J. Blige. Why am I forgetting names?
Monet.
Monet. Everyone in the Tejada family is looking for revenge, and also, not everyone is cool with the idea of turning on Tariq. So there could be secret alliances that's made, and we do, at the end of the day, still end up seeing, what is it? Not Effie. It is Effie. My names are not naming.
Diana.
Diana. What is with my names? See, this was a very interesting situation where we see that's Tariq who's pointing the gun at Diana. And you can see the abject fear that she has. We don't know whether or not he ends up pulling the trigger, but we do know that, she crossed him. She may be gone. We have another part where we see her. She was like, oh, I'm out of it, but yet we see you back in. And we don't know if she's, feeling guilty about what's going on with Tariq. So we don't know what sign she's on. And, we know that definitely not Mary J. Blige is on his side. But we do know that maybe there might be some kind of confrontation between her and Tasha. So we don't know. So, it could be.
Yeah. Let me just make a quick comment here. In terms of the shot of Diana and Tariq shooting Diana, I mean, we'll see what happens. I'll be very curious to hear what a lot of the fans think, but I don't think that Tariq is going to kill Diana. What I do think is that Diana is the one that's going to figure out Tasha is the one that tried to kill Monet, and probably that information leads to them trying to take out Tasha. Now, I'm not sure if they will be successful in taking out Tasha. I kind of feel like that could be one of the major things that does happen this season. It all depends. But in terms of as far as that particular scene, because a lot of times in these trailers they show stuff to throw you off. But I will say this. Drew, there was also in the scene we saw that Drew was in a shootout. He's in a car driving and shooting at somebody. So the thing is this, though. I personally think that some of those at least one or two of those Tejada people will get killed. My assumption is that Drew, that's a character that obviously, from what I understand, that's a character that nobody likes. Now, we may have some fans that like the character. I'll be curious to hear what y'all think about Drew as a character, and I also would like for y'all to tell us which characters you think need to get killed next season. But my guess is that between Drew and Diana, one of them or both of them needs to go because of the whole thing that they set this stuff up to get Monet taken out. And we did see in the previous teaser trailer that Monet was screaming, crying out. My assumption is that because one of her kids got killed. Now, I don't know which one it was, but that's what my assumption is. As for Kane, as we mentioned in the previous video, he is trying to find his footing in Noma's organization. And obviously, Woody McLean is a great actor. He's done a great job as the character. So my assumption is that character is probably going to be safe. Will he get into another fight with Tariq this season? Yes, that probably will happen. And this time, maybe Tariq will actually get some good hits in on Kane. But I don't think that Kane is going to get killed. But his brother and his sister, I think one if not both of them, is going to get taken out. And as for Monet, that depends on what they're doing. They really have told you that, like I said, anybody can get taken out. That's what I love about the trailer. There's a lot of mystery behind that. Monet has done a lot of horrible things to try to keep her family together. So that's a character that probably should meet her end also. But I do want to see how that all comes together. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to unpack as far as that, what we saw with those particular scenes. So we just have to wait and see. I am very curious to hear what everybody's theories are, though, about some of that stuff.
Very true. And then also I wanted to bring up, we're getting new characters that are going to play a much complicated part in this story. So first off, we do have Golden Brooks, which we all know from Girlfriends. She is, her name is Janet Stewart. She's Monet's cousin. Ooh. They did not describe what her background is, but she is a cousin. And so they are bringing in maybe more family members to deal with Tariq. We don't know if she is, a queen pen. Is she just a regular, normal civilian? Or maybe she knows ghost from the past. We don't know. But it's very interesting that this is going to be, Team Monet's side, her cousin, or maybe she could cross her cousin. What is your thoughts about Golden being the cousin, Janet?
That's a very good question. First and foremost, yes, I am familiar with that actress. I do remember Girlfriends. I remember that show, that cast on that show. Here's the thing. We were told by Courtney Kemp a long while ago that eventually we would meet the other woman that was supposedly acting as the mother of Monet. Now I'm getting a blank on this. There you go. Yes. We were told that eventually we were going to meet the person that was also acting as Zeke's mom this entire time. It kind of makes me wonder if she is that individual, because Courtney Kemp did tell us when she had those lives a while ago, because she didn't have any of these lives last season. When she had those lives, she did say there was a question of some people asking if we were ever going to find out who the other person is that was acting as the mom before we got this bombshell that, oh yeah, Monet is the mom. So that very well could be where her role is coming into this. But I'm not 100% sure. And I will say I do like that there is mystery as to who these other characters are, because then you can't easily figure out how they will play a role in all this stuff that's happening. But that's what my guess is that she could be that could be Zeke's mom, not the biological mom, but the person acting as the mom.
Very, very true. I completely agree with that. And that, she, if that's the case, she has a lot of things she has to get off her chest. She has things that she would want to settle. Because remember, her son is dead and then unraveled this entire, not mystery, but, the family secrets of what's going on. So the relationship between that. Also, Daddy Tejada is still around. So what is his relationship? How does he feel about, with Zeke? And now we have Janet coming in. It's just going to be, I don't know whose team Janet is going to be on, but will he start feeling like he's being iced out of his family? We do know that Diana is very close to her dad, but does he have someone now on his side? I wonder. Is he dead? He's not dead.
Well, unfortunately, we won't get an answer to that because, yes, he's gone, ladies and gentlemen. That's a reminder. Lorenzo Tejada is gone, killed by Monet, no less. The setup, she set that whole thing up for him to get killed. So, no, he will not get a chance to respond to this situation. He's out the picture.
Yeah, you see, my brain is not braining this moment, but still, I wonder, what is Janet's role in this situation? So this should still be interesting. So forgive me for that massive oversight. That was
that's all right. That's okay. He did an excellent job on the show. Too bad that he is no longer on the show because I was starting to like the character, but it is what it is. It's all good. This is Power.
This is Power. And I can't remember anything. So yes. So then also joining the cast, I scrumped to scream when I read this. We have Matea Confronti. I might have completely butchered that name. And I am very sorry to this lovely child because she is officially the all grown up-ish. She looks familiar to you? That's Lisa Marie Proctor.
Wait a second. I didn't know she was on this season. That's very interesting. Interesting. Yeah.
Who knows what that phone call could be?
Well, that character has some issues with Tariq as well. So that is not good news for Tariq.
Every dog got his day, needless to say. So she might be going after Tariq as well. She might be that person we don't pay attention to. So remember with the whole The Wire situation with Omar, and it was a 5-year-old who took him out. Who's to say it won't be her? She could just be like, bang bang, payback.
Well, let me just say this right now. I am very curious to know. Obviously, like I said earlier, Michael Rainey Jr. as Tariq, that character has gotten a lot of hatred since this show started. And I know there were people that wanted the character to get killed. I'm actually curious now if people still want this character to get killed. I mean, do they believe now that they want to root for the character because now you see what happened last season where now everybody is against him? Or do you actually want to see him get taken out? I mean, I'm just curious about that. But I will say this, adding her to this show, very, very interesting. We know about her history with Tariq. And obviously it makes sense that there is some payback coming to him with that as well. So, but again, I want to see what it is what her role is they have her do as far as coming into the storyline now. So that's going to be very interesting.
It should be. And if we know she does have a huge role, we don't know. It could just be a scene. We don't know. It would tie up loose ends that involved the original Power. And that is something that we look forward to. Or it could start a whole new chapter. Because just because this is the finale, in some shape or form, it's going to continue. So we just don't know. And also on top of that, not saying that it's her character necessarily, what about a female-led spinoff of Power? So just in general, that would be interesting. So we'll have to see. But to kind of like moving on, we have a man named Aaron Dean Eisenberg, who is Detective Neo Colder. So we're getting, more police people. Could be a dirty cop, could not be a dirty cop, but he could either help someone on the Tejada side, maybe on the Michael Ealy side, or maybe the Tariq side. We don't know who he plays. He could be somebody that knows Method Man character, which for some reason I keep forgetting.
Well, yeah, Davis McLean.
Yeah.
So let me just say, obviously McLean is also in trouble this season. We did see that he is in danger of getting disbarred. So yeah, they will be coming after him as well. But one comment I will say about this other character you just mentioned, my prediction is that this is, if he is working with Don Carter, probably will get killed. And this will further fuel Don Carter to want to get some revenge. So stay tuned. But obviously, there's going to be a lot of people bodies going to be dropping because the streets need a body. That's what Power has told us. Razor Kanan has told us this also. So I'm just saying, so people are definitely going to get taken out. So he probably will be a casualty unless he has some other allegiance with somebody on the inside and he's actually a dirty cop. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Then we're kind of rounding that off. We have someone named Allison Luff. She is Detective Felicia Lewis. And then we also have someone named Talia Robinson. She's playing as Ellie. We don't know what an Ellie is, who Ellie is associated with, but we're getting some new characters, and we'll obviously find out pretty soon who these people will end up being. So, kind of any overall thoughts on any of those characters that we don't have much information? Do you feel that they're going to add like a special another dynamic to the show?
Well, some of the characters you mentioned, I'm not sure who they are. I do know that we are going to get Noma's daughter, who is obviously going to have yeah, she has a big role this season, so we'll look forward to that. But those other characters, I don't know too much about them quite yet. I don't know if there was any description as to what they're going to be doing this season, but yeah, I definitely want to see how they all play a part within the storyline.
So we do go with Anya Covington is the daughter of Noma. Here's the twist thing. She is Tariq's love interest. And we all, I was like, ooh.
Wait a second. I thought that was going to be Braden's love interest, since that description alluded to the fact that Braden now has a reckless lifestyle, and that's why I was assuming it might be him. But if it's Tariq, that's interesting. I mean, either way, it's Noma wants Tariq dead, so maybe it is Tariq. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But clearly, whether it's Braden or Tariq, Noma is not going to be happy about this.
It's someone's love interest, and we do know that she's going to be manipulated into because I read Tariq, or it could be Braden. It could be both. So yeah, but she is going to be a huge pawn in this game. I hope they're not. Let's get all feeling, and then I don't want to kill you, because we've seen that already when it came to Effie. So I'm okay with that not happening. I just want her to be used. I know this sounds terrible. I'm so sorry. But just use her in order to get back at Noma and then dispose of the situation. Again, I'm sorry, because that sounded terrible. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But yeah,
we'll see what happens. That character definitely, is probably also going to give Noma some issues. It strike me as she may not have the best relationship with her mom. Obviously, mom tries to keep her concealed, so we don't really know the extent of their relationship yet. We haven't seen them interact. We'll see that obviously this season. But yeah, she's definitely going to be manipulated. But she also may be doing some reckless things as well. So that's why I said I want to see how that relationship dynamic is between those two characters.
Exactly, me too. And then also they kind of dropped some photos, and then there were screenshots that do look rather interesting. We have, like I stated before, that's Golden Brooks. She's Janet. Here we have another image where we clearly see Kane, and maybe that's Ellie. Who knows?
No,
But
I
they're
think that's
meeting.
I think that's
That's
Anya. I think that's her daughter. Yeah.
no, no, that's not Anya. The taller one could be the one who is in that schoolgirl uniform. There you go. That's Anya.
Yeah. Hmm.
So we finally get to see Anya in her full Anya-ness, and that should be interesting. And remember also the tie-in from last season, wasn't it? They found out the location of the daughter, and I was wondering, was there something else that Noma had in possession that they needed back, or was it just the location of where the daughter was?
I think the location is the main thing Tariq wanted to get, and they know this information, but then of course Anya then said when they had that interaction, that wasn't the right information, or alluded to that. So you will definitely have to see where they go with that, because clearly she could have been lying when she said that.
And then also, which I wasn't able to get any images of, was we do know that is maybe that's it. Yes, there we go. Right hand man, Anoma's right hand man was actually helped by Tariq. I believe so. So
Yep.
I wonder if he is going to continue to work with Tariq. Remember when he said, I need some help? Who knows? He's actually calling in that favor. I know green cards were involved.
Yeah, green cards for his family. I'll make a prediction now. That guy, I believe, is exactly how Kane is going to find his way into Noma's organization, because he's going to find out this guy helped Tariq. And, we saw there was a scene in that previous trailer where it looked like Kane was in a street fight inside of a cage. That very well could have been who he was beating up to prove himself, or it could have been somebody else. But what I'm saying is, one thing we know about Kane as a character, he kind of figures people out very quickly if they're up to no good. So he's going to find out that Obi is the guy's name. Obi actually working with Tariq or whatever, and he may expose him. That's going to get him on Noma's good side. So I definitely see that coming from a mile away.
Very, very true. And here we have kind of, McLean is helping Braden and Tariq. But what was really interesting was there was a moment when they were in the car together, and McLean says, "I know why I'm doing this. Why are you?" So, we're going to see some type of team up, and he has his own separate motives because, again, he's most likely going to get kicked off the force, or probably even worse, arrested. Maybe by the end of the year, and we know that Sax is dead. He does not really have an ally in that police force or in the lawyer's sphere. So his arc will be interesting as well. He could end up leaving out here, or he could get the spinoff that what was it? The other guy from the original Power, Lawrence Tate, was supposed to get.
Well, let me just say this. I always say this on Powercast. I'm very disappointed that we never got that show from Lorenz Tate, because I would have loved to have seen him. I know he would do an excellent job carrying the show. He's an excellent actor. He doesn't age. He plays a very crooked type of character, but yet you want to see what the character does. So it's unfortunate we didn't get that. So obviously, though, his story is still going to continue on in this season. I will be very curious to see how he is involved and what's happening. But as far as Method Man Davis McLean, one thing a comment that was brought up multiple times, and this was stated in a couple of interviews, is that last season when Davis was going through this stuff with Tariq, he made a comment to Tariq about, Tariq, you make a very good lawyer one day if you decide to pursue that. And I don't know if that's a path they're going to go down with Tariq, because it was said multiple times from other people that they kind of want to take a legal approach to some of the stuff they're doing with Power down the road. So I would love to see if that's what they do with Tariq, but I don't know. It has to be explained how they get to that point, because right now Tariq is, obviously he has a lot of other stuff going on right now. He's trying to protect himself, protect his family, and he also has to deal with all these enemies. So I want to see what they're going to do as far as making all that come together. But as for Davis McLean, I want to see what happens with that character. He is also in a tough situation because he is still working with the Tejadas. He's still representing the Tejadas on the legal end, but now Tariq and Braden, and they're all enemies now. Both sides don't like each other, and he is right in the middle. So I want to see where they're going with that, because it can't be good for him as far as what happens to his character moving forward. But I definitely am curious to see what happens next.
That would be really interesting if they do the lawyer approach, because it allows Michael Rainey Jr. to still be, a part of the Power family and a part of the Ghost family, but not continue with the same character. You understand what I mean? We're going that lawyer path. So it's not the same as, where's the drugs? Give me the money. This is my connect. So it doesn't get stale. He's been playing this role since he was like, what, 11? Almost? So you can see where it can get tiresome. So that would be a really interesting path for him to take. But we have just looking over other stuff where that's going down. And
all right. Yeah. Well, hold on one second. We need to go back to this. I want to get your opinion on this, as well as the people who listen to our discussions, because this is a music group now that they're going to have on this show as well. Now, obviously, we had the music group on Raising Kanan. That is still a storyline that's happening on Raising Kanan. That's why I want to get what your opinion is on this. Do you like this particular direction, or do you think this wasn't really necessary? Because again, this season is about Tariq and what he has to deal with as far as everybody else. So I just want to get your opinion on what you think about this particular storyline, whether or not this is a good or a bad thing for the actual season.
See, I don't know what the music group entails. Is it we're funneling money through this group? I don't know what their goals are.
That's a great question. We saw that Broom. I don't know how we pronounce her name. Broom. I think it's Broom Shielda. I don't know how to pronounce her name. But basically, Tariq's classmate. She's a part of this group also. That's why I want to see what they're doing with that, because I know they like to really put music in these shows now to an extent with people performing and stuff like that. So I am curious about that, but I'm curious how this ties to the main storyline of what's happening with all the other characters. So should be interesting.
It should be. I don't really know how it ties in, but it should be something that's interesting. And they look rather serious here. So maybe some neo soul music. Oh, that is the girl from the class. At the left, on the left.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember they tied in a little bit where I believe with unless that's light skin Keisha. Remember she was working on Lorenz Tate campaign. Was it Lorenz Tate's campaign or somebody's campaign?
Yeah, that's
so
it.
That's
Lorenz
how
Tate's
tie
campaign.
In, and now remember they made an enemy. She kind of lost that she lost out on that because of Tariq. So now this could be her next forte, is going into the music industry. And this is when, Tariq comes in and she's looking all disgusted, like, oh, that's that man. I can't stand him. We don't know where that ends up, but it could be that. And then, we have the Michael Rainey Jr. Person's getting arrested. He's just standing there looking all like, ew, yeah, I did it. I got them arrested. And then this we kind of spoke about before. We don't know who exactly they're pointing the gun at, but she looks very happy. And, she loves her little monologues before she kills you. So there is that. And then we have kind of moving on with Braden and Tariq. They're on the campus. So maybe they have to pack up and get their stuff. Maybe they could be a mix of classes. Maybe it could even be a flashback. But them being back on the campus is like, oh, that's a wee bit surprising for me. So we could get some last lessons. They could even graduate, but they can't because it's too young. It's way too early in the season.
it is too early in the season. And let me just make this comment. And obviously, this is the one thing that I was confused about. I mentioned this to Gary, and I will mention it to you now. It was surprising for me to see this also, because clearly they have issues right now with the Tejadas. Diana, they were in the same, Tariq is in the same class as Diana. And Kane, they know if they, because obviously they're going to be looking for Tariq now. Okay, if they go to Stansfield, you know he's at Stansfield. That just doesn't add up. So I want to see if, like you said, maybe they are there to clear out some of their things and to get off campus. But to be in the exact same place where you know you can be found, that's not a positive thing for them, unless everybody is going to be on campus at the same time in classes and just acting completely like nothing else is going on, just just learning as usual, which no, that can't happen. Like I said, after Tariq, after the way the season ended, I said Tariq and Braden, they officially done with school now. Now it's about that street life. It's about survival. So I do want to see what the angle is they're taking with this. And I will also add the group that we were talking about earlier. They are a group that performs on campus. So clearly they do have some type of impact on the story, I would assume as well. Something maybe happens to one of those characters, or they are connected to somebody else that's involved. But for the most part, I was very surprised to see them back on campus. So I definitely want to see how they explain that, because as things continue to get more difficult for Tariq, and then you have Don Carter after him too, there's no way he cannot stay on that campus. So I want to see how they're going to tell that storyline for sure.
I had like a moment of maybe hysterical thought where I was like, maybe they flash forward just in the finale part 2 and we see them graduate. I don't know. But that would be he accomplished what his dad wanted, technically.
Are you suggesting that Tariq is going to have a happy ending? That's what you're saying, because if he graduates, that's a happy ending for Tariq.
Here's the thing. Deep down in my heart of souls, and I know this will never happen, so y'all can't get mad at me, I want Tariq to die. Because his father said, you can't be what I am. You don't have it in you. And he goes out and he tries to prove his father wrong, and he dies at the end. And then Ghost is just sitting there as a ghost with him and his son. Ha ha, I told you. And then fade to black.
I will say this. I don't know if they're going to kill him off the show. I 100% do believe you will see Omari Hardwick appear again as some type of I told you so type of thing. Because one thing I will say, and obviously when we did our last reaction to the teaser trailer, people was saying we didn't really get into a lot of details. The one thing we didn't talk about is who was the individual that was in Club Truth the same time Tariq was in there. And it was somebody obviously has a suit on as well. So that would lead anyone to look at it and say, well, that's probably Ghost. Because again, everything is coming full circle for Tariq. Starz has alluded to the fact that fans will be very happy with the finale. So my assumption is that Omari Hardwick returns as a ghost, though. I'm not saying he's alive. I'm just saying he returns and it has some type of dialogue with Tariq. The same way that all these other characters, such as Kanan, were having a dialogue with Tariq as ghosts as well. That's what my guess is. But we'll have to wait and see. But clearly, for them to say fans will be excited and pleased with the way the show ends, that makes me think, yeah, because Omari Hardwick is involved in some capacity, even if he's just has a cameo appearance as a ghost, or so to some extent, that's what I think they mean. But if Tariq is killed, I mean, that'd be kind of hilarious. I know some people probably still hate Tariq. I like Tariq now as a character, but I just want to see how they handle that. But I do agree with what you said, Dana. If he does get killed, good riddance, because Ghost, yeah, he tried to be like his father. No, there's only one James St. Patrick, and you are not him. Even though you are my son, you are not me. So, but we'll see what happens.
We shall see indeed. So kind of moving on, we have McLean with a gun, Is he paranoid? Is he preparing to shoot? Is he actually going to shoot? We don't know. We have a meetup here between Braden and Tariq, which is kind of interesting because it goes back to, remember when they was in the alley and they both had their guns drawn down, obviously at someone, and Braden said Tariq because Tariq didn't shoot. And it's really interesting how maybe in this moment Braden has to start taking charge of things, which we know he kind of botched in previous seasons. Remember that robbery? So, and then Tariq had to cover it up. Maybe this is a play on that, and now Braden has to shoot for Tariq. So, I'm excited for that.
I'm excited for that, and I have a theory as to what that scene is about. Now, I think that particular scene is from the very first episode of the season, so we'll probably have our answer in a couple of weeks. But my guess is that obviously in that trailer, there is a bit of a shootout between Tariq and somebody else, that other person being Agent Young. And we know that Agent Young is Angela's nephew, Paz's son. At the end of the season, remember that Sax had that disc, I think it's a flash drive that was sent to him directly. So my guess is that he finds out some other information about Tariq, and eventually they cross paths. And so what my guess is that he does have a shootout with Tariq, and Tariq ends up killing him, and now they have to try to hide the body. And that pretty much is similar to a callback to when Ghost and Tommy killed Lobos and had to dispose of his body. So my guess is that that's what that is. I could be 100% wrong. But the scene with them panicking, obviously, I think that is because they either find out this guy knows some information, we need to take him out, or they have already taken him out, and now they have to find a way to dispose of the body. That's my guess. Again, I didn't write the show. I didn't see any advanced episodes. They ain't sent no screeners out yet, so I don't know what happened. But I'm just saying that's what my guess is, because clearly that character is going to be an issue. And we need to find out what is on that flash drive that that Sax had sent to him. So we have to wait and see. But I think that's what happens in that particular scene. That's just my guess.
That's the big cliffhanger part of the show too, as well. So that should be interesting. And then we have here, you said he's not going to shoot, but imagine if he did. Ooh, yummy. Then we have what is this? Effie and Kane.
Yep.
That's not Effie. That's Effie. Hooking up.
The power couple. The power couple.
I wonder, is she playing him? Is he playing her? Are they playing each other at the same time? Because I don't really trust this. Do you?
That's a great question. I don't trust it either. The thing is this. Tariq did her dirty last season, and vice versa. After all that happened, she turned on him in the end because she went and she got arrested and so on and so forth. But she didn't snitch. All right. She was loyal. But the thing about it is that obviously she has a soft spot for Tariq. Kane has a soft spot for her. And that is a weakness. Okay. So if it does come to it where once again she has a chance to save Tariq, I think she would try and save Tariq, even if it means that she ends up hurting Kane in the process. Because Kane obviously has an attachment to her. He's had an attachment to her since he's met the character. So clearly he wants there to be some type of relationship there. But I feel like she still has a deeper connection and loves Tariq. So if Tariq is in any real danger and danger of getting taken out, then I think she would try to step in and make sure that doesn't happen. But she also has her own things to worry about as far as school and trying to get out of the drug game. So it's a very complicated situation. This is like if you ever go on Facebook and you see someone's relationship status says it's complicated, this is what this is. A complicated relationship. With a lot of these characters are very complicated and complex. So we'll have to wait and see. But I do think she's going to end up hurting Kane this upcoming season, and maybe that might cost her life. Who knows what's going to happen?
Very, very true. And then kind of here you have her again clearly she's definitely out of the game as she goes to talk to the redheaded. I think he was either from the previous season. That Ginger. He was the white guy with the red hair, had a cut
Yeah.
on his cheek.
Hmm.
So she's there clearly. It doesn't look like she's happy about it, or maybe she is, and she's trying to, I'm the boss woman. Watch me as I have my spin-off show. And then, as you brought before, there's the heavy fire power now bringing this season. This one was interesting because this here is Kanan, and I tried my best to get as clear a shot as humanly possible. But I'm like, oh, he's back.
No. That's not Kanan. That's Diana's ex.
Not Kanan. Diana's ex. Sorry.
Yeah.
My brain is all over the place.
And that's funny. So that character probably will get killed, because I'm surprised he survived with all the stuff that he went through with Diana. So he probably is going to get killed now. And I'm happy you caught that shot, because that happened really fast. I didn't stop the screen to catch that. So that's a good catch.
And I really thought that he was done and over with, but the fact that he's back again, and you can see this sheer anger on Tariq's face, and this man is just annoying, and he kind of should have. I don't want to say he should have died in the previous season, but he really just shouldn't be here in the second, half of the first half of this season. Basically, he was Clarence from 8 Mile. Everything about him was just fake. Why is he still here? So he's like, I'm going to out you. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't really see him being that big of a deal when it comes to this season. I just think is that I did laugh. I did think this is a joke. So that was interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And then
definitely a joke.
Here, this to me, from what I thought it was in Noma's warehouse where she kept all of the drugs. And it kind of opens up where we see that is being completely destroyed by a fire. So it could be her warehouse drug bin thing. So
yeah, it looks to me like Tariq and Braden sabotaging product that Noma has because they are unable to sell product. So that's what my guess is. All the more reason why Noma wants Tariq dead.
Kind of this one was interesting here. That is Kane. I thought that if you look at it, you can tell when someone's really being choked out or when someone's being tortured choke. And this looked more like, I'm going to torture you. Maybe this is done by, that's when we cut to Noma when she had this very small knife. But we don't know if those scenes are related with each other. But this did not look like a serious, I'm going to kill you kind of choke.
Exactly. One thing I will say, like I said earlier, Kane does have a soft spot for Effie. So I don't know if that may be something that he messes up something with Effie and then Noma gets in on him on that. I mean, it's no telling. The scene is funny to see that. Obviously, I don't, like I said earlier, I don't think they're going to kill Woody. They're not going to kill Kane, aka Woody, because Woody does an excellent job as a character. He's very three-dimensional. You can see some of what he does, and he's also funny as well. So if there's a spinoff to come, I think he's a part of that spinoff. But definitely going to have some issues as he tries to get a foothold in Noma's organization. And, of course, deal with some of the issues with Effie, because, again, they're probably going to have a falling out this season. If she still likes Tariq and tries to aid Tariq in any way, that's a conflict. So we have to wait and see how that pans out.
I completely agree, but I will also say this. I think everyone should be on limits when it comes to being killed. For the simple fact, that's where you have the unpredictability of it. If you're supposed to depict, obviously this is not reality, but that unpredictability of we don't care who your loved ones are, who you attach to the show, how great of an actor is. They can go at any moment in order to serve the story, in order to serve that element of unpredictability that they're in, because they're in that world where gone today or, gone in 20 years. We don't know how long someone lives.
I agree 1,000%. This is why I think Tasha will get killed, because I feel like Tariq needs to really feel the full weight of his decisions, similar to when Raina got killed. And that was the reason why people didn't like the character. That was one of the main reasons why they didn't like the character, also because he killed Ghosts. But I think Tasha being a part of this story, the fact that she got involved in trying to take out Monet, that is not good news for that character. I feel like at some point they will find out, they can get to her, and it could be game over for her. I think that, I honestly feel like that is one of the main reasons that they brought the actress back to this show, because she is still a part of Tariq's storyline. And of course, this whole thing about Tariq just wants to get back to his family. And I do think, because they emphasized on previous seasons, all he wanted to do was to get back with his family, get back with his mom. But the fact that that hasn't happened, and now you have all this stuff happening now, it kind of makes me feel like he's never going to get what he wants, and she is going to end up getting killed. It would explain why he goes off the deep end and wants to take everybody out. But it also would make the character a lot more darker as well. So I think that could happen. But we have to see. Because again, I can't think of any other way that Tasha could serve the story, aside from just trying to talk through Tariq, give him some confidence. But I kind of feel like if she gets killed, ultimately, then the character completely changes. And then that makes him a lot more dangerous and darker like his father. But we'll have to see what happens. But I agree 100% with you. There should be no limits on who gets taken out. Everybody should be expendable, because this is the final season. That's it. Game over. But we'll see what happens.
I'm cool with Tariq's entire family getting wiped out, and Braden, and therefore he has no one. Let's make this dark. Give me my darkness. So, boom. That's how we have character growth and evolution. Kill everyone. And then so then we had that. And then kind of moving on from that, we had, no. This is only interesting to me because, we see them, Diana and Tariq talking, but you see the poster in the back? For a full 2 minutes, I tried to zoom in. I tried everything and all of my mighty goodness of powerness. I thought they was at a GYN appointment, because that girl in the back looked like she was pregnant or going through some kind of stomach pains.
That is, yes.
I don't know where this came from.
I could totally see that. I think, and I believe we spoke about this when we did our discussion on the finale, when we were talking about what could potentially happen next season. Yeah, Diana, could it be pregnant? It could be Effie as well. Tariq has messed around with both of them. So, but if it's Diana, that makes it a lot more complex, given what the situation with the family. That'd be truly a very interesting direction to go with this. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot to unpack there. I want to see if they do that. And I kind of feel like that they can do that. But yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
I try with all of my heart and all of my soul to just zoom in, but I don't even know. All it just says is probably at the bottom is like available. So I don't know if it's like help is available, or maybe they're at the clinic to get rid of her pregnancy. I don't know. But that poster, why is she looking down like that? I don't get it. But yeah. So then here we have Drew. He's with Monet, and again, he always has this conflicted look about him. Look, we know that this world is not for him, and he tries so hard to be in it, but he keeps to just screw things up even more. So he just looks pretty agitated at that point, and he is not really, getting or feeling that respect that he kind of deserves. And then also the whole play that's going on with Tasha. So I wonder how they're going to do with that angle as well.
Yeah,
he's conflicted.
That character is a loose cannon. We've seen him unravel over the seasons. I'm gonna tell you right now, no offense to the people that are fans, I want to see that character get killed. And when that happens, when we record that discussion, I will have a lot to say when I see how they take him out, because this is a character, and when we go back to the teaser trailer of Monet screaming out, I think it was about him getting killed, because that shot right there, clearly you can see they had some type of conversation. Maybe there was a disagreement and he didn't like what he heard from her. It kind of feels that type of way. Obviously, we didn't see the full scene. We don't know yet, but I kind of feel like he is going to get taken out, because think about the fact she is the one that made sure that, when, she had that whole family taken out, his love interest, when he found out that he was involved in what happened to his dad, he killed him, then they took out the whole family. It's a very traumatic situation, but that character is just very, very emotional. He was so angry about his ex, seeing his ex with the other guy and all this other stuff. That was hilarious. That was a hilarious way, the way they put that all together. But he's a loose cannon. And the thing that is interesting, again, is both him and Diana, they don't really want to be a part of the business anymore. They still have aspirations outside, but because of who they are, because of the family that they are associated with, they are still caught up in all of this. So that's not good. But that character, I 1000% would not mind them taking him out, because he's very on edge, very unpredictable with certain stuff that he does, and that can get somebody killed if you're unpredictable like that. So
Yep. I completely agree with what you said, and that unpredictability aspect could, cause the whole show to be in chaos. So that's a good thing. Then kind of moving on, we have the Santa Maria, please. This is the whole setup of, we know that this is the final. This is how we can tell when it's the final season, because it's always that ominous music, and then there's always a church or some form of candles, and there's a prayer. And as you can see, Diana is like in deep prayer. We don't know what she's praying about. We don't know who she's praying for. Maybe it's herself. Maybe it's the family. Maybe it's for Tariq. We don't know. But there's a lot of inner conflict that she has to deal with. She is the one who kind of organized and coordinated this lie to say, who shot Monet. So maybe she's struggling with her decisions and was carrying out this plan. We don't know. And then kind of moving on, we had I believe we've seen this already. Yep, that's her and her just full glory with Obi in the back. She's always yelling and screaming in this season. So we had that. And then we have something happens, because this moment, I tried to get a clearer picture. This moment, this is when Kane seems to break down and he's crying. This is not a laugh. This is not a haha moment. This was a very serious, in pain, crying moment. So something happens in this situation where someone close to him dies. Maybe it's Effie. Maybe it's Diana. Maybe it's his mama. So this was very intriguing, and I would love to know what ends up happening with that scene and image right there, because it broke him. So yay.
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that scene is about. It could be anybody. Like you said, anybody close to him, family. Yeah, I'm not sure. I do, like I said though, I do believe Drew is going to get taken out. There was a scene of Drew in the car driving and shooting. This could have been the end result of that. Maybe he gets killed in whatever, some type of accident, and this is something that Kane sees. I mean, I have no idea. But yeah, it's a very interesting shot. So we have to wait and see where they're going with that.
Yeah, that's when that car kind of hits him from the side that we do see. So maybe he's trapped in, and then that's how he gets shot down. We don't know, but that seems really interesting. And then kind of moving on from there, we already saw that one. Sorry. Can't see. This one here is, that's Michael Ealy with, that's Drew and some guy who is the driver. So we do know that they're probably end up in trouble again.
Yeah, that guy next to the guy next to Michael Ealy, I believe that's the actor you showed earlier. So maybe that guy is his partner, and they are trying to shut down the Tejadas as well. Because here's the thing, based off of this image, now that lets me know so Don Carter isn't just coming after Tariq. You know, he probably coming after the Tejadas. There was a shot of Michael Ealy, you know, outside. I believe it was on the near the bridge, one of those bridges in New York, with Monet. So obviously there's some type of conversation or some type of dialogue that happens between those characters. I'm expecting to see that shot in the season. But yeah, he very well could be coming after both the Tejada family as well as Tariq. But he definitely Tariq, the way the trailer, you know, lays everything out.
And then also who's to say that he's trustworthy? Because the description did say, you know, while his you know, everything that he's done is worthy, it talked about, but he'll never be able to get back the love of his life, which is his wife. So maybe one, he has to go undercover, and that's why we see him with Monet. Maybe he is, you know, pretending to work for her. We don't know. Or maybe he just says screw it, and he ends up becoming a dirty cop. You can be a dirty cop by working your way inside out in order to get the people that, you know, I'm going to take down everyone because my wife is dead. So he could be just dirty.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. He could be the one that Monet has also helping her try to take down Tariq. So yeah, I want to. I'm very curious to see what they're going to do about this character, how his story evolves. But yeah, those are very good points. I agree 100%.
And then kind of lastly, we have just Monet in the club with Kane behind her, you know, because he now works for her. So she always looks serious. She's never smiling. She's never happy. She's just her.
Well, she definitely should be on edge now because the fact that Tariq knows where her daughter is at, he obviously will have some type of interaction relationship with the daughter, and that is a cause for concern. Plus, you have to worry about your business, what's happening with your business, you know. So it makes sense. I will say this though. One thing that we criticized about the last season of Ghosts, it felt like that character Noma was hardly on the show, only on for a couple of episodes. So I'm expecting her to see her a lot more in this season, obviously. With all the stuff that she has going on, with her trying to expand the business, we should see her on a much more consistent basis. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But again, I do want to see what's going to happen with the way that she has this business structured, whether or not she's going to be butting heads with Monet, because obviously Monet had the way the things were set up is Monet has her kids working for her now as well. So that is, I want to see what happens with that whole relationship because it's just a lot to really see how that works out. And especially with Monet's condition, I assume that she will be, well, she'll probably still be in the hospital when the season starts, but she'll probably get out by the second episode or so. I have no idea. But I'm just very curious to see how everything comes together as far as the storytelling and the characters, and of course, who doesn't make it out this season, because everybody will not make it out this season alive.
That is very true. So, are there any kind of final thoughts that you have with season 4? Anything you want to see or hope they avoid?
Well, I am curious to see what they do with 2-Bit storyline, whether or not he will once again show up, because he did take Tariq's car. So I want to see where they're going with that. And aside from that, no, pretty much. I'm just very much excited, looking forward to the season. I think we spoke about a lot of things that we saw in the trailer, as well as some of the information we knew about news that came out about the show. So I'm just looking forward to the return of the show, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, there'll be a lot of unpredictable things that happen. Maybe some other characters show up, make an appearance that we haven't seen in a while. So it's a lot to look forward to, for sure.
That is very true. And plus, we could also probably get, I believe, is Anya's father still alive, or did Noma kill him?
Oh, no, he's dead. She killed him.
Okay. So, yeah. See, it's me in this memory. Everybody's dead. So yeah, that could be, and then also resentment towards the mom. Where's the, with dad and everything else. So I just hope that they don't drop the ball because we have made it this far. This was the show that we did not want, and we ended up wanting it the most. So just don't Game of Thrones this and drop the ball when it comes to the final season. That's all I hope
Well,
for.
I think that's a great thing to hope for. I do think they may drop the ball on certain stuff, but let's for now let's give them the benefit of the doubt and see what happens. But I will just say that I'm very like I said, I'm very excited to see the return of the show. Because it is ending, I am definitely expecting it to be to end off in a massive success, especially since Starz is heavily saying, "Oh yeah, fans will be very pleased." Okay, so we'll see if Starz is correct on this one.
I hope they don't, put their foot in their mouths. Oh, this is amazing, and then it ends up being just terrible. So don't get too overconfident. I believe they're already wrapped. So I hope they didn't get too overconfident. We'll see what happens. And remember, they split up the season. So that means something really big is going to happen in part one. I don't know, but something huge. And I am excited for that big cliffhanger. And we'll just have to see what happens. Is there anything that you would like to plug, Mr. Bailey?
Oh no, I would just encourage everybody to check out the Coalition Entertainment channel. Dana has been posting up a ton of things. She was also quoted for a movie that is out right now in theaters. Planet of the Apes. I believe that's what it's. Well, it's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Yes, a lot of kingdoms and planets and so on and so forth. But yes, she got quoted for that. Definitely check out her quotes. Check out the content on the entertainment channel. And as for this channel, like I said, we are going to be covering Power Ghost, the full season when it returns on June 7th. So make sure if you're a fan of Powercast, you come back and check out our recaps. We'll probably be doing a little bit more power content, but I'll talk about that in more detail in the future. But yeah, we appreciate your continued support. Hope that you all are doing well, and looking forward to talking about Power with you all very soon.
For me, yes, I scrum to scream. I got a whole bunch of calls from people like, "You're on TV." So I am in Planet of the Apes. I was quoted in their latest trailer where it's like, "This is amazing." No, but anyway, everything's great. Interviews over there with the cast that is on the entertainment channel. Also, we just did the upfronts today, so all that Disney news, all the Prime Video news, all of that other news we Max and everything else that's coming out, we will have also on the entertainment channel. And there are going to be interviews. Fingers crossed. I'm trying really hard. We're getting the boys. We're getting Garfield, if anyone's interested in Garfield. But we're also getting Mad Max. Oh, not Mad Max. It's called Furiosa. So we're getting Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. And a bunch of other shows. We have Ariel, which is on Disney Plus. It's the black version of Ariel, and she's in the Caribbean. It's really sweet and adorable. We have some Doctor Who. So we have literally everything. We have some wrestling that's people are still watching over there on the channel. So a bunch of other stuff. So just kind of look for that. Mostly anything that you wanted to find, you can find over there. And we will be back with obviously Power. And then remember, we have Power Origins. They announced that show. So that should be a lot of fun. And we do have other future spinoffs that's coming along. And I do kind of wonder this, and this was the huge part of what we had with the writer's strike. Are they ending this show so that they don't have to continue with a pay raise? Because once Disney did this a lot, a lot of other shows did this where they would cancel. Remember Sweet Life of Zach and Cody? They would cancel that show and just be like, Sweet Life of Zach and Cody on a boat, which is essentially the same show, but it's on a boat. And that was done for financial reasons where you don't have to do a pay increase because this is a brand new show. So I wonder if they're going to do that with this part of Power Ghost, where we're going to see, like, I don't know, it's now called Power Ghost in the courtroom, where, you know, again, Tariq is a lawyer, but we still have the connection of the original one. I just don't know what they're doing, but whatever it is, I look forward to whatever they are doing, and we have a bunch of other shows that are a part of the Power series that, of course, will be coming back. Richard's favorite. He loves Force. Every day, it's like, we're one day closer to Force. We're one day closer. So
No,
we should
that's
get that.
Gary.
And then we'll that him and Gary. And then we'll also probably get a lot of other stuff with Starz too, because upfronts are this week. Yay. And so we'll be back with if there's any power related announcements. So as for me, I've been your host, Dana. Once again, thank you to Mr. Richard Bailey Jr. for joining this and collaborating and putting everything together. And we will be back next time. Have a great day, afternoon, evening. See you soon. Yay, Kendrick Lamar.